All right, you honestly can't make this stuff up. I just came across a local Texas news report, and attached to this report, there is a video that I have to play for you all because it talks about how the owner of this Trump burger joint on screen is now facing deportation, which this entire story is dripping with irony, but there's a few broader points I want to touch on that I think are more important really quickly. It's such a microcosm of Trump's deportation policy to claim that you're going to go after the criminals, but then to reallocate the funds meant for criminal deportations towards people who are here starting businesses or working or trying to create a better life. Like, you know what? I'm as liberal as it gets, and I think that if you're here and you're starting a profitable business, even if it's called Trump Burger, that's part of the American dream. If this dude had a profitable business in Houston, Texas, that he used to support his family, and he was a hardworking member of his community, I don't care if it was called Trump Burger or Obama Burger. Obviously, it's a bit cringe, but the point is, why are you deporting people who are contributing to the economy, who are hardworking members of the community, when you promise the exact opposite? So now Trump supporters en masse are beginning to realize, wait a minute, the Trump admin isn't just going for criminals. They are not just going for people who have committed crimes. They're going for hardworking immigrants. A lot of farm workers have called Trump and begged Trump, please stop deporting the people on my farm. There are people who are going here to like immigration courtrooms. They're following the proper procedures, and ICE waits there, camps there, and targets them, which that one is really sickening because it creates this incentive structure where now immigrants or people here illegally don't want to go and follow the proper processes, and they're now too scared to even report a crime. Like if an immigrant is here and they get sexually assaulted or abused in some way, they can't go report that because they might get deported due to this admin's insane policy. For example, check out this Trump supporter who was mad after a third of his workers were detained by ICE.
Vincent, you voted for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
6 Nicaraguan men on May 27th were detained along US 1 in Sugarloaf Key on their way to a job. Vincent Scardina is the owner of the roofing company where they worked. Given his support for the president, we asked what he would tell the commander-in-chief.
What happened here? This situation is just blatantly not at all what they said it was.
While he agrees with most of the president's policies, he thought the Trump administration was going to focus solely on deporting criminals. It seems immigration officials, he says, are just trying to meet quotas now.
Buyer's remorse? I don't know. A little bit. I know of one landscaper that lost 9 or 10 of the whole crew he had, and he's just totally out of business all of a sudden.
It's pretty obvious, I would say, that the reason why they were pulled over is because they're Latino men.
Their immigration attorney says it should not have happened because 5 of the 6 have their paperwork in order with pending asylum cases.
The Trump admin has repeatedly and brazenly racially profiled people based on how they look or the way they speak, sometimes even how they dress or the sports merch that they wear, which is incredibly odd. And they use that as a pretext to try to detain or deport people. It's sick. So this reads, ICE, Houston area Trump-themed burger joint owner now facing deportation. Roland Beanie, 28, was arrested earlier this month. He's facing deportation after ICE officials said he didn't leave the country when he was supposed to. And you guys get my argument, right? Even if I don't agree with a business called Trump Burger, it's so cringe. I think that if you move here from another country, you start a business, that business becomes profitable and you scale it and you are a loved member of your community, that is more so the American dream than whatever Stephen Miller is doing on any given day. Stephen Miller is somebody who was born into a well-off family, grew up in a well-off environment, and is now using any power he's gained from that privilege to abuse people. That's not what the American dream was built on. It was built on the underdog story. It was built on somebody moving here and somebody building a better life. Now, do I feel bad that this person is facing deportation? Not really. You get hoisted by your own petard. If you support something like this and it comes back to bite you, then it happens. It really does. But let's watch this clip.
U11 confirming the owner of Trump Burger Restaurants, which has several locations in the Houston area, has been arrested by Immigration and Customs Enforcement and now faces deportation. ICE says Roland Biani A 28-year-old from Lebanon overstayed his visa after entering the U.S. back in 2019. He was taken into custody in May and is now out on bond as he awaits immigration proceedings. In a statement sent to KHOU 11, an ICE spokesperson told us, quote, "Under the current administration, ICE is committed to restore integrity to our nation's immigration system by holding all individuals accountable who illegally enter the country or overstay the terms of their admission. This is true regardless of what restaurant you own or political beliefs you may have."
I mean, a few things. That's not true. What they were saying at the end, they had been targeting people based on political beliefs. There are people who've been writing essays at colleges, and they have their visa revoked for writing essays about Palestine. The owner of this President Trump-themed burger joint in the Houston area is facing deportation. And really quickly, listen to this. Did you guys know that Trump's new big ugly bill makes ICE the highest funded U.S. law enforcement agency? Well, most right-wing sources are not reporting on the facts of the bill. For example, American Faith, this right-wing news source, only reports this as Trump's deportation plan boosts American jobs. That's one way to put it when farmers are complaining about all of their workers disappearing, but other news sources that are more local actually report on the economic harm. So Arizona PBS reports Trump's mega bill immigration provisions could add $1 trillion to the national debt. Those are two completely different interpretations based on the biases of the news source. That's why I'm lucky to partner with Ground News. They make it so much easier to get perspective on these important stories by pulling all of the sources into one easy feed to show each source's political bias, their credibility, and the news that is not being covered. I mean, some news, like the one on screen, is being covered 56% by left-leaning sources and only 20% by right-leaning sources. So if you want a more thorough view, click the top link in the description to get 40% off the same Vantage plan I use. That is $5 a month for unlimited access by going to ground.news/am. The link will be right below the video. Just go click it right below or click the QR code on screen. I want to say thank you to Ground News and thank you to you all. There are a few broader points that I want to make here. If you watched my CNN debate panel when Kevin O'Leary was on with me, there was another moment when I was debating Angie Wong, another woman on the panel sitting across from me, and she talks about how her husband had to wait 9 years to get his citizenship, but she was a Trump voter. She was arguing to make it harder to get visas, harder to get green cards. She wanted to make the process less streamlined. It was all super incoherent, and I didn't quite make the point in the best way that I could have in the moment. It was a fast-paced debate, but the more I thought about it, I could have been like, listen, you just made the perfect argument for why the Trump admin's policy is awful. It took 9 years for your husband to get his citizenship, to really go through all the legal hoops and go to the courthouse. Now, throughout those 9 years, what if ICE would have just been waiting for him one of those times? That would have been enraging. And then he never would have wanted to, nobody would want to go through the proper processes. Isn't this an argument for shortening the time? Isn't the 9-year wait period, it kind of makes it more understandable why people look at this 9 years and they go, oh, I'm just going to come here illegally. Like, I can't do this. I'm not justifying it, but I'm saying that's people's thought process. They say, I'm going to come here throughout the proper channels because the proper channels don't seem to work anyways. Like the same way people are like, I might as well just tear down the institutions because the institutions don't seem to work anyways. When they don't fundamentally work, then people will justify tearing them down. But another point that I want to make is people make a lot of Trump-themed merch, and it's very, very weird. Like, I've been to a bunch of Trump rallies because of the debate videos that we've recorded. I've probably been to 40 rallies, and every single time I go, we come with the camera crew, we debate them, we make sure that we are pushing back, and then usually I don't really stay for a speech because it's always quite boring. But when we're doing these debates, there's always interesting moments. People selling Trump shoes or Trump chains or Trump hats, Trump everything. And there was one time a lady gave me multiple pens, like 10 Trump-themed pens. And she said that she bought a condo just from these pens, just from selling these pens during the 2016 inauguration. It's really, really interesting how all of these little knickknacks are sold and distributed at the events. And that's probably what this Trump burger was, just another extension of people in the cult who want to latch on to the identity. I'm going to leave it there. If you appreciate the work we do in exposing Trump, their cover-up of the Epstein files, ICE deportations, we will continue to work on a day-to-day basis, making a video about tariffs right after. So make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mockler channel to never miss a video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.